Yeah. Prabhu, Dayal Nitai Chaitanya Bole. English 133.
Dayal Nitai Chaitanya Bole Nishi Amar Man. 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 Nishi Amar Man. Nishi Amar Man. Nishi Amar Man.
Okay. Abhiram Prabhu. Pralaya Payodi Jale. Sri Das Avatar Stotram. English book 268.
Pralaya payoti jale ditavanasi vedam vikitavakita charitramakeda.
Pralaya payoti jale ditavanasi vedam vikitavakita charitramakeda.
Keshavadita mina sharira jai jagadish hare jaya jagadish hare jai jagadish hare.
Keshavadita mina sharira jaya jagadisha hare jaya jagadisha
Sirikari pulatare tishtati tava pishte Dharani dharana kina chakra garishte. Keshavadita kurma sharira jai jagadish hare jaya jagadish hare jai jagadish hare.
Jaya
Keshavadita Bhikupati Rupam Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare
Jai
jaganti vakati bogalamudi brati dayatam darayati balim chelayati kshatraya kshyam kurvati pavlastyam jayate kalam kalayate karunyam antvante mlečen murčati dašviti kriti Krishna tubhyam namaha.
Jai Dasavatar Stotram ki jai, Shri Jai Dev Goswami ki jai.
Sorry, I missed one verse.
It's okay.
So,
We didn't notice.
Jai Radhe, Jai Krishna, Jai Vrindavan. In English 246.
Какая страница?
202.
202. Мы вот эту запишем. Поэтому, Абирам, пожалуйста, погромче.
Каш, пожалуйста, потише.
Нет, Санкаршин может, если ты попадаешь в Бхакти Лалите, то он, пожалуйста. Вот. А на кварталах можно потише.
Не играть вообще.
А?
Не играть, наверное. Не играть.
Тебе, Шьям, пожалуйста, не играй. Да?
Я
Двух достаточно. Ты вообще что-то в угол забился этим.
А его санат...
да это его туда посадили. Он не сам туда.
Он уже почти там в кустах где-то сидит.
В деревьях тоже.
Просад ходит. И на караталах хорошо играешь сонат? Ну вот, как играешь, потише хорошо. А я буду так, включать глухо. А какая еще раз страница? 202.
The Boss Uvacha.
А?
Boss Uvacha.
Yeah, we feel like
It's my
in studio, you know, open air studio. It's nice.
Okay. And we gotta love our geese. If you hear this noise, it's just part of our lives now. A whole flock of geese living next door.
Oh, really?
You didn't know?
No?
How could you not know that? It's already been almost a year.
Кто это гуси, да?
Oh, geese.
Geese.
I thought bees. Oh, yeah.
Geese.
Гусь. Whatever.
I hope thanks to like we will not have less and less.
You're singing along.
Okay. Jai Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan.
Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan.
Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan.
Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan.
Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan.
Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan.
Kalindi Yamuna Jai Jai Mahavan.
Kalindi Yamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavan.
Keshika Tam Shiva Tata Sakana.
Keshikata Vam Shivata Vada Shakana.
Yahasho Lila Koila Shinandananda.
Yahasava Lila Koila Shinandananda.
Shinanda Yashoda Jai Jaya Gopaka.
Srinanda Yashoda Jaya Jaya Gopaka.
Siddhamari Jaya Jaya Dinu Vatsaka.
Sridhamari Jaya Jaya Denu Vatsaka.
Jaya Vishabhanu Jai Ketira Sundari.
Jaya Vishabhanu Jaya Kirtida Sundari.
Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Vinanakari.
Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Viranagari.
Jai Jai Gopeshwara Vrindavanama.
Jaya Jaya Gopeshwara Vrindavanama.
Jaya Jaya Krishna Saka Bhakti Vijaya.
Jaya Jaya Krishna Sakha Vijaya.
Jijapatni Jai Naga Konyako.
Jai Jijapatni Jaya Naga Kanyako.
Bhakti Teya Hara Paila Govinda Charan.
Bhakti Tejahara Pava Govinda Chara.
Shira Samanta Jai Jaya Radhashyam.
Shira Samandava Jaya Jaya Radhashyam.
Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Sava Manora.
Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Sama Manora.
Jai Jai Jvala Rasa Sava Rasa Sa.
Jaya Jaya Jvala Rasa Sama Rasa Sa.
Parakiya Bhaviyaha Prajete Praja.
Parakiya Bhaviyaha Prajete Praja.
Shri Janava Padma Kori Asmara.
Shri Janava Pada Padma Kori Asmara.
Dina Krishna Tasa Kohe Nam Sankirtan.
Dina Krishna Rasa Kohe Nam Sankirtan.
Shri Janava Padma Kori Asmara.
Janava Pada Padma Kori Asmara.
Dina Krishna Tasa Kohe Nam Sankirtan.
Dina Krishna Rasa Kohe Nam Sankirtan.
Jai Srila Bhakti Bimala Avadut Maharaj Ki Jai. Big welcome back to Avadut Maharaj. Just returning to Gupta Govardhan from Malibu. And we'd like to invite you to chant Maha Mantra. Now. Wait, we need a microphone near him.
No, it's okay. You chant. It's your program. I'll follow.
We'd want you, we're requesting humbly. Please chant Maha
Shri
Mantra.
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda.
Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Rama 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 happy to worship Mahaprabhu under divine supervision of our devotees such as Srimati Bhakti Lalita Devi, trying to keep the divine flow at Bhakti Govardhan, and it's so beautiful and amazing. I'm going right now, I just said last sentence. I can say it again on the microphone. So I'm very happy to be back at Gupta Govardhan and feel the divine presence of Lordship, Guru and Gauranga, and seeing devotees trying to continue the divine worship of Mahaprabhu Giriraj Govardhan here in Thailand, Chiang Mai, under supervision of Srimati Bhakti Lalita Devi. This is our great fortune to have daily association with devotees and try to maintain our spiritual self as much as we can by the grace of Shri Guru and Gauranga. It's extremely nice here environment in Thailand. We also know that there are many Vaishnava festivals going all over the world, and specifically in Russia and Ukraine, in midst of war and all the chaotic failure. We just had a big Vaishnava festival, big festival in Moscow, also a big festival in Petersburg. As you know, we're trying to conduct a festival here in Janmashtami. Festival, it's a great opportunity for people to get together, serve together, and participate. And you know, a lot of people they're living their ordinary life, so they need a bite of fresh air to be in association of devotee full time. So we hope that this service opportunity will remain with us, no matter what is going on with the crazy world. And also, we're hoping to continue to produce spiritual content in our best possible ways we can, and you know, continue our little attempts to fulfill desire of Krishna Anushilanam, Guru and Krishna, and most likely Guru. So, Srila Govinda Maharaj's teach us few amazing lessons before he left the world. He said, collaborate those who are looking for a collaboration. And that's our inspiration, to collaborate with those who's looking for a collaboration. And that's a great lesson of Srila Govinda Maharaj, because there are different people, they believe in different things. Somebody believes in Jesus, somebody believes in Muhammad, somebody believes in Buddha. And people looking for a collaboration with those who have similar belief. So as we say in Thailand, same, but different. So, you know, I've been in America lately, met many different people, devotees from ISKCON, other maths, and my conclusion, personal conclusion, is that we have extremely beautiful teachings of Srila Sridhar Maharaj and Govinda Maharaj, which we need to represent to people and explain why they're same said by different, why they have special depth and special value and appreciation. And my realization about what Guru Maharaj has explained about certain architecture of Krishna consciousness and the engineering of Krishna consciousness, not just external part, internal part, are so amazing. Because when we look at some kind of a facade, we see that, you know, facade could be something artificial. But something strong has a great engineering and has a very powerful architecture. So Guru Maharaj is giving us internal engineering and architecture of Krishna consciousness, the divine principles, the inner things that may be not so visible but important. And therefore, I believe we should continue study our great Guru's, spiritual values, but not just study them as simply reading the books, because simply reading the good books it's the way to get context, to understand how those principles are being applied in our personal lives, and as well as, higher life that we are all aspiring for. So Guru Maharaj is giving us incredible ideas, like he tell you very simply the world of exploitation, the world of renunciation, the world of dedication. So that's a very great concept, and what dedication is. Anubulyashta shunyam jnana karmadya anavritam anukulyena Krishna anushilanam. So he quotes Rupa Goswami and other great spiritual authorities of our sampradaya. And what Guru Maharaj is giving us, and obviously Gurudev showing us in his whole daily life, is super important. So we've been speaking about these topics in Russian for the last several months while I was in America. hopefully, we can speak in English about all these values, because at some point of view, some devotees are trying to a little bit, I would say, impersonalize our teachings. But actually our teachings are very personal, and especially teachings of Guru Maharaj and Guru, they're very personal. They're very clear and they're very uncompromising and direct. Although we may not be on that highest standard, because, some people, they're trying to establish the standards of divinity and purity, etc. But in the main way, I said to one woman, she told me, "Oh, I'm not chanting 16 rounds." I said, "Well, what do you expect? First you become a saint, then you take initiation." She said, "Is it some other way?" I said, "No, well, what we heard from our teachers is the beginning of spiritual life, beginning, middle, and end is association and service. So that's how we inspire ourselves to continue spiritual life, to association and service. And both of these things, association and service, they have particular point of view, because we can go get together, watch movies or a football game, which is also association, it's nice. But when we talk about spiritual association, they're a particular point of view. But Anubulyashita Shunyam Gyana Karmadya Navitam is also referred with the sloka Tad Vidhi Pranipatina Pariprashnena Sevaya from Gita, where we say three things: Pranipat, Pariprashna, and Seva. So these are the things which are making our spiritual life real. Otherwise, what's the difference between, mundane vision and spiritual vision? It's perception. Right. But anyway, I'm not going to continue that long. It's Srimati Bhakti Lalita Devi's class, but what I'm trying to say is that what she's trying to accomplish here in our mission on a daily basis, not just participation in formal religious practices, is thoughtful, conscious perception of what we're doing, how we're doing, what's the purpose, why we're doing. And, you can't really please everybody, because everybody say, "Oh, we do like this or we do like that." But you have to please Guru and Gauranga. So, and if Guru Gauranga please, that you have a license to continue your practice. So everything in the midst of all has to lead us to enthusiasm to continue. And sometimes, to some of our senior friends, we see people can get really sick, they can get really depressed, frustrated, tired, but really the price for Krishna consciousness is Krishna consciousness itself. That means in the midst of life, spiritual life, no matter how imperfect you are, if you have enthusiasm to keep practicing, keep trying, then that means, you're doing fine. It's not like you achieved anything, or like now you no longer need association, or you no longer need Krishna consciousness, you're so enlightened. That doesn't work like this. It might be an impersonal idea of like Buddhistic idea of, liberated soul does not need anything. But in, our approach to Krishna consciousness, the more you liberate it, the more you need service. And real holy name, real service begin in the spiritual world. So that's a wonderful, wonderful guideline for us. In other words, the more you practice Krishna consciousness in the proper way, the more you're supposed to have desire to do that. And if something goes opposite-wise, that means something that you're doing is not right. And, obviously, it has to be an internal look. So therefore, I'm so fortunate that we can reflect internally to each other, but at the same time, not lose hope to do collective practice, which is the core of Kali Yuga, collective practice. Practice collectively, which is great. Yes, Sankirtan. And that's why I said, at a certain point you might be exalted, exiled, and you might be alone, but that's not a trap, because in spiritual life, maybe yogi, he can have some advancement alone, concentrate on his own perfection. But when it comes to spiritual life, the perfection comes from highest level. And most likely it's not coming to you. It's somebody coming to somebody that you're sharing with, or sharing with you by his mercy. And that's where I believe the Bhakti Yoga is misunderstood by most people, Because when people start telling me, oh, about that many rounds or that many rounds, I told them one time, I said, if you go to Gaudiya Math, somebody tell you, oh, 16 rounds not enough, 32. Or somebody tell you, oh, 64 rounds. Somebody say, you don't have to chant 300,000 names a day. That says in scripture. So anybody can have a standard, but what Guru Maharaj's standard is your chanting is not a Buddhism. What do you mean not Buddhism? Because Buddhists, they even wave mantra, they do mechanical practice, they do mechanical things. We don't do mechanical things. I mean, we are, nature, our tendency is to become mechanical, count things. To say, I count that many rounds, fine. But that's not what Krishna consciousness is all about. Kirtanya Sada Harih means continuous glorification. Kirtanya Sada Harih, and also Mahaprabhu did not said, he established one major qualification which were not really understood, Tridadapi Sunichayana. So it's interesting, last night I've read some Lao Tzu Chinese philosophy. And Lao Tzu say, when you're climbing to the top of the mountain, you have to compete and fight. But when you come down towards the river, the water comes itself to you. Which means, if you are climbing towards your own perfection and your own ego, you will face a lot of opposition. Although people are not going to like, you become, supreme, dominated. They say, why is this person supreme? I'm also good. So they'll be like competitive. But once you take a position of that, you're not trying to compete with anybody. And you just take your own position, which means like water, where you really belong. That's why Prabhupada, Saraswati Thakur, he said, I want to belong by the feet. I don't want to be Vishnupad, I don't want to go that high. I want to be Prabhupada, by the Prabhu, by the feet of Prabhu. So that natural position when you take, as a servant, as a kind of, as Govinda Maharaj, he've done this. Many times he said, I'm a fallen soul, and most people did not understood, because Govinda Maharaj had perfectly practiced this yoga of being water, which means being somebody by divine, not on top of divine, because on top of divine, you may not have that qualification, but being near divine, and giving and receiving, and giving to others as well. Receiving and giving to others, not just keeping to yourself. Because being transparent, entity that the mediator, one who has a, and Guru Maharaj said, very interesting, he said negative perception. Superconductor is working under negative pressure, under negative temperature, which means Jagai Madai Sei Muita Papishta. I'm worse than, Jagai Madai, I'm worse than, that's Krishnadas Kaviraj. Because not a sinful person. But his inner level of self-determination, self-rejections, is creating him a perfect conductor to conduct perfect, flow of Krishna consciousness. Some time back I was trying to write a book on Mahaprabhu, which I will continue. And I listened like Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mangala. I listened all like Mahaprabhu's stories. And, I have to begin the book from childhood of Mahaprabhu. And what I'm trying to do is not just become a great writer, it's just to re-speak this in a particular way. And maybe add something from different scriptures to reveal the divinity of Mahaprabhu. But what I really understood when I listened, continued to listen, like Vrindavan Das Thakur, I say it's like my inner conclusion was, it's impossible to write better than Vrindavan Das. It's impossible. Although we don't really understand Bengali poetry because it's really poetic, as well as it's conclusive and poetic. And he's not going into, you can describe a few details in the environment, blah, 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 which would be great for the literature to give the writer the deeper understanding of the time and environment that Mahaprabhu lived in. That's what I was trying to do. But when you come to conclusive pastimes of Mahaprabhu and their beauty and their connectivity, and actually their size, because you would say, if you start describing this lila longer, it becomes a little bit boring. If you describe that little lila shorter, you don't give depth of field. So my conclusion was like, it's almost impossible to compete with all these people. And they're written in the 16th century, on the bamboo leaves. But the way they present the topic is so perfect. Of course, different time, different vocabulary, different way of people conceiving information. So we're trying to cater something to modern people. But what we say, if we really can appreciate the value of spiritual content that's been given to us, and how much that content is important, like Guru Maharaj's subjective evolution of consciousness. That's a topic you should speak every day. You can make like 100 books, 100 films, and we didn't even explore this idea. That's like a key idea of evolution. So, or a key idea of the human history, of the key idea of human anthropology, of human culture. See, all these things are important because people in general are looking for answers for all these questions. They're not really understanding the deep spiritual Krishna conscious search, but from any perception of social, spiritual, mental life, all these questions are always penetrating people internally. If we can just explore those different angles of view and present to them that not just, all right, so if you really understand the human history, what's going to change with you? Like if you really understand the position of Earth or cosmos, what is really going to change to you? The aliens exist or they don't exist. But when you look at all these important topics from perception of Krishna consciousness and Vedic view, and especially Vaishnava view, it's changing tremendously your perception. Like, for instance, suddenly you're realizing you're not alone in the universe. That's a great realization, which now, like, US government, like, you talk about aliens. But really, if you're not alone in the universe, the natural question comes, what is your position in the universe? And what is the purpose of civilization? See somebody say, oh, the man took the stick and, the monkey become a man when monkey got the stick. But, most animals, they're using different stones and sticks. Oh, when did we become human? Oh, we become human when, we establish the supremacy. No, the male and female always constantly fight over, sexual domination and procreation. So it's not like, so where the real civilization begins, it's quite interesting. When the spoken word start carrying the meaning and deeper sacred meaning. Like animals, they also speak like, they let you know of something danger. But when the word, the concept in language start explaining you things that beyond your perception. Not only that, when those concepts become beautiful and poetic. Remember, the poetry, the real birth of English, as they say by Shakespeare, it's actually Lord Becker, because Shakespeare turned English into the literature, into language which not just express some simple things, which express human's nature. So when we're dealing with the Sanskrit and divine Sanskrit and scriptures, it's not just some, only philosophical conceptions. That's this divine flow that reveal us completely different potential beyond our senses. Like word karma, dharma, or Bhagavan, or like, Deva, whatever. All these words are just describing something that you cannot experience in this gross plane of reality. But once you get into the meaning of these words, you totally mesmerized by the depth and connectivity with reality. So therefore, when we talk about what is our real position in the universe, which is proclaimed by science and social, actually, through the Vedas, it gives us the deepest meaning of who we are, what we connect with, and what we're doing. I'm sorry to take so much time, but what I'd like to say, so every day we chant, every day we try to remember Krishna pastimes, every day we try to, invoke those mantras, those meanings. And we have to understand, there's like deepest principles behind those words, like we're chanting names of Krishna. It's the beauty which beyond, time and circumstance. And we're connecting with that. Or we speak about, concepts of our teachers, like subjective evolution of consciousness. Maybe we have little puppet brains, but if we start digging and researching those concepts, we see that they are changing our whole life perception, who we are, what is our purpose of life, and what we're supposed to do in this world. Should we become a philanthropics and feed the poor, Or should we, save the planet, which is going to save itself when we're going to die? Or like, should we discover additional life in the universe without understanding what's the purpose of our own life? So you meet a bunch of aliens, but you don't know what's the purpose of your life. So all these things are so deep and important. And if we will explore them through Krishna consciousness and especially the perception of our teachers, we'll have incredible answers for the meaning of life, not only for our own meaning of life, also for the meaning of life of many other people who's technically, in the process, who's dwelling in this reality. So that's why I want to thank you all for coming here and participating.
While we've got you here, the Baladev Purnima is beginning, the full moon's beginning actually today,
right.
And tomorrow is our festival.
Yes.
So share something from your heart, what you love about Baladev.
Okay. So when we go into the beginning of Chaitanya Bhagavat, where Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur constantly glorifying the Vaishnavas, considering Anadhanam Sarvesham Vishnu, Aradhanam Param Tasmat Param Taram Divita Diyanam Samarchanam, he quoting slokas of Lord Shiva to Parvati, where Parvati is asking, what's the highest worship? And Shiva say, Aradhanam Sarvesham Vishnu is the highest worship of Vishnu. And Parvati is a little frustrated because she said, I'm not worshipping Vishnu, I'm worshipping you as my husband. Then Shiva say, Tasmat Param Taram Divita Diyanam Samarchanam. To worship what is dear to Vishnu is more important. And Yemi Bhakta Janaparthai, and many other slokas, which is quoted by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, which is his favorite slokas, and you can find them in Gaudiya Kantahar and other books. He's also mentioning about Balaram. And interestingly, in that part, the first part of Chaitanya Bhagavat, he's actually raising quite interesting thing about Balaram and Balaram Purnima. And you would say, why? And number one, remember, when you go to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj has divine vision of Nityananda Prabhu Balaram, who sent him to Vrindavan, the Guru Tattva. But Saraswati Thakur started explaining us Balaram Purnima and position of Lord Balaram, which I will briefly describe as we understand. He called Balaram as alter ego of Krishna, second self of Krishna. So if Krishna black, Balaram is white. He's the opposite. Krishna is supreme enjoyer, Balaram supreme giver. That's why in Ram Lila he become like younger brother because he can't stop Ramachandra. But in Krishna Lila he's taken position of older brother. He's supposed to take care of Krishna and protect him from, whatever. So Krishna and Balaram has constant quarrel, but as we understand, Balaram is not only follow Krishna, he's absolutely on Krishna's side. Although sometimes it's appear they're fighting, but there is deep purpose of that fight. It just represents position of Krishna. And although Balaram is alternative, so Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explained, he said, and Balaram has his own Rasa Lila and his own Gopi groups, which is kind of like, wow, in spiritual world, somebody else has Rasa dance. And he said, yes, Balarama, what the Balarama Purnima is, it's a Balarama Rasa dance. Purnima means when the moon comes and erotic, remember moon is mind, but it's also sensitivity. So the herbs and mystic powers and everything comes from moon. So it says in tantras and scriptures, if the moon towards Purnima observe the water, that's why you wake up in the morning and you walk on the water, on the grass, and you get that kind of water, mist, drops of water. It's fed by the moon. It gives you tremendous power. That's why moon water. So in alchemy, you would establish the moon mirror, and you feed the moon into like magic stones and water, and then you take that water or wash that water. It gives you beauty. It's a very powerful thing. So moon has a tremendous power. Moon has also also influence erotic feelings or sensitivity, like whatever. People become more sensitive. That's why in Thailand we have full moon party, because it makes you more sensitive. So Purnima means to increase sensibility. On spiritual level, that's not the same as material level, but we can say moon has position in the spiritual world as well, has different position. So when Purnima comes, the enjoying tendencies appear. People want to enjoy. That's why I spoke with professional music promoters. They said, we only do it on full moon because we know whatever music or it's drawing people to enjoy, and especially on full moon. So that's why Krishna, Balarama, they do their own little patya. It's time to enjoy. So Balaram has his own gopis. He also has his own gopas. So his Dvadashi Gopals run in his group. And his gopis also are, Balaram has also several wives, like Revati and other wives. One of his secret wives is Yamuna. And it's described in Garga Samhita, the power of Yamuna, worship of Yamuna. And it's also, his name is also actually Kalindi Bedanam, one who control Yamuna. And from that divine perspective, like if we go to Vallabha Acharya, the Pushti Mark principle, Vallabha Acharya, who was in time of Mahaprabhu, and he's a worshipper of Srinathji in Rajasthan, which is the Madhavendra Puri Gopal. So Vallabha Acharya, the difference between Gaudiya, he would glorify Yamuna and not so much Radharani. And somebody would say, well, that's opinion of Vallabha Acharya. But if we look at, not from critical point, what's the difference between Gaudiya and what's the difference between, because Vallabha Acharya is Gaudiya actually. We can say, well, Vallabha Acharya speaks. He speaks about power of Yamuna because it's described in Garga Samhita and other scriptures as a devotion giver. And why that he's not so much emphasizing on Radharani, not because of Radharani is not devotion giver, is that Radharani is giving highest devotion. So Balaram control Yamuna and Krishna takes shelter of Yamuna. That's actually another quote of Vallabha Acharya. Then he's telling, like, when after Rasa dance, Krishna and Gopi took shelter of Yamuna and they all went to swim and had swimming pastimes in the Yamuna river. But from point of Balaram and Purnima, we can understand he has his own Gopi, he has his own mandala, Rasa mandala, and like Yamuna and all other gopis that Balaram has, there are also particular servitor group. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur not giving very deep understanding of what Balaram Purnima is because like it's very esoteric. But what he really say is quite interesting. He say, one thing you should understand about this is Bhaktisiddhanta's commentary. He say, one thing you should understand, Balaram is not an enjoyer. You say, oh, he's got gopis, he's got numerous wives, he's got numerous friends, he's doing his own party, Krishna's not invited. But Bhaktisiddhanta say, no, this is not what it means. It really means that whatever Balaram does, it's fully and solely for the pleasure of Krishna. And that's where unique position of Balaram. Means like, not a self-enjoyer. Then you say, how is that possible? How is it possible that somebody's, taking the enjoyment but becoming pure media to like carry that energy into the Krishna? That's a mystery. So that's so when we do Balaram Purnima, Govinda Maharaj established Radha Madhava Murti at Balaram Purnima, at the Balaram Appearance Day. And, Balaram has birthday party. So he's not just born. So when we say Balaram Purnima, it has many meanings. Ecstatic dance, because remember, he's already growing boy and there's already a spiritual world. And they say, today is your birthday, we should have a special party. And, Balaram is holding his special party. But in midst of all, and being Guru Tattva and being, second self of Krishna, one thing we know that he is completely selflessly worshipping Krishna without any tinge of self-enjoyment. And, remember, his mother name Rohini. So, Nanda has several wives.
It was Vasudev's wife.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Vasudev's other wife. She was taking shelter of
Right,
Nanda
right.
Maharaj.
Right, so that's what.
And the seventh child in Devaki's womb.
Right.
Transfer.
Right, so just want to say about when Krishna born. Balaram born earlier. And so according to Leela, he came to this world to appear in front of, like, his appearance is signifying that he will become a servant and caretaker of Krishna. So there are many pastimes where Krishna complaining about Balaram to his mother, Yashoda. And Balaram, mother Yashoda, is always like, why are you torturing him? Why are you touching him? Sometimes Krishna come and Balaram's very disturbed. I'm not trying to do anything bad to him. So Krishna is very tricky. But they have true love, and Srila Prabhupada established Krishna Balaram Mandir in Vrindavan, which is another great thing, because from one point of view we can understand that really the Nityananda Prabhu, the Guru Tattva, the Balaram need to be established in Vrindavan, and Srila Prabhupada did that. How many Radha Krishna temples there and how many Krishna Balaram temples there. So he emphasized this, which is very significant for all Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Which may not be understood by many devotees why he did that. Why is that Vrindavan Krishna Balaram temple? But Guru Maharaj understood, and he indicated Sakya Rasa, and he also indicated special connections with Guru Tattva and Nityananda Prabhu and all other things. So we can review this day from different perspectives. In our mat, we know Govinda Maharaj established Radha Madhava Murti in Diti in Petersburg. And
This is the anniversary. It was Baladev Purnima. He installed them.
Right.
With Tirtha Maharaj festival.
Right. Yeah,
So
Tirtha Maharaj held a ceremony.
This is their anniversary.
Yes. Tirtha Maharaj held a ceremony, Seva Puja. That was nice. When Govinda Maharaj told me to establish some deities, I told Govinda Maharaj, I don't really know how to do that. And Govinda Maharaj told me one thing. He said, Giriraj does not need to be installed. It's already Krishna. And he said, do you know Giriraj mantra? I said, no, I don't. How do I know? He told me the Giriraj mantra. It's kind of accidental, or... Then I understood, okay, I can establish Giriraj. But when needs to establish the real murtis, means besides Giriraj, Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna, I kind of figured people who know how to do this better than us, right? So the latest murti for Crimea, which was beautiful murti, came from Navadvip, we gave to Padmanabha Maharaj. And Padmanabha Maharaj organized a beautiful group of Vaishnava on Govardhan. So when we came a little late because we couldn't stay that night in Govardhan. It was too hot, there was no electricity. So we came back to Vrindavan. We came next morning and we see already the ceremony is going on. And it was so beautiful. And then this Murti's beautiful Radha Gokulananda stay in our mat for 7 days or 2 weeks before they went to transfer to Crimea. So they were established and reside in Govardhan, and I thought that's a beautiful idea, because Narottam Das Thakur, he established the murtis on Vaishnava festivals, and those murtis been sent to different villages for worship. So when I was thinking okay, I'm not really qualified to do anything like Pratishta, I called one of my friends from South India, and he's a professional. Professional means he's an acharya, family brahmana who does this work. And he told me yeah, I can install you, murti. I need 7 days and 7 people. I said, what? 7 days and 7 people? But when they did it, I understood why. And he said, that's a Paka Shastrik way. You can do shorter, you can do smaller, you can do this and that. Then, there's one way or another way, but the most important, as Govinda Maharaj said, important thing, Krishna will reveal itself. So when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was trying to do Madras Gaudiya Mat installation, Srila Sridhar Maharaj thought, oh, the tulsi leaf and Gurudev need to put tulsi leaf by the feet of Krishna. And he've done it. Thought Saraswati Thakur may not have, a comfort to claim altar and do it. But when Saraswati Thakur came, Guru Maharaj said, I did this. And Guru Maharaj and Saraswati Thakur gave Dandavat and said, yeah, already Krishna established himself. And then Sridhar Maharaj thought, I kind of made the fence. This is the job to down to Acharya to do, Acharya should do this, not me. I'm just a servant. And he said, I'm sorry, Gurudev, I'm sorry. And Saraswati Thakur didn't accept his sorry. And after some time, when Srila Sridhar Maharaj came to him alone, and he said, I'm sorry, Saraswati Thakur said, there's no sorry for surrender soul. Means it was Krishna's will that Krishna is using you to do this service. And I'm just noticing his divine pastime. And that was act of great humility and act of great spiritual appreciation, guru, disciple, etc. It's very divine. But what we can understand from that point of view is Krishna has his divine way to reveal himself. That's what Govinda Maharaj many times say. If Krishna wants to reveal himself, he will. Remember, holy name, it's not a sound, it's Krishna who revealed himself according to certain things. The murti, it's not something mundane, as we see. It's something when Krishna wants to reveal himself to grace, to grace devotees. So, it's a very grateful day for me to speak today because I'm going to speak tonight on Balaram Purnima, and thank you, Bhakti Lalita.
Tomorrow we'll have festival.
Yeah, she invoked the needs of reconsume all these things and maybe go to Garga Samhita or Bhagavat or a Krishna book, whoever, what's the best sources. I personally love Garga Samhita.
We have the verse, do you know it by heart, Pranam Mantra?
What's that?
Garga Rishi's Pranam Mantra for Baladev. Do you know that one by heart?
I have not.
Gurudev liked very much.
I mean, he's talking about Mushalam. Is that Mushalam?
Spura Dhamala Kirtitam Kini Kanarham Chaladhala Kakopalam Kundala Shri Mukam Jam Suhina Giri Manojam Nema Nila Megham Baradyam Hala Mushala Vishalam Kamalam Palam Samire.
See, I remember Mushalam Vishalam. I don't remember the whole sloka, but do you know what's the meaning of the sloka? Can you read it?
Yes. I worship him who has a shining pure crown with bangles, with moving curls of hair on his cheeks, with his lotus face decorated with earrings, etc., wearing rich blue cloth and carrying his huge plow and club.
Okay.
And Gurudev said about the hair,
right.
He was very much attracted by Srila Sridhar Maharaj's expression,
right.
Agreeable negligence.
Right.
You remember?
Yes. But you see, all these words, if you go to a kind of a hidden spiritual conspiracy, all these words, they also describe a particular energies of Lord. It's not a simple sloka. And when you go to Garga Risha, where it's like in Garga Samhita there are two kanda. One is Govardhan Kanda and one is Yamuna Kanda, which means very deep explanation of worship of Govardhan and Yamuna, with thousands of names of Yamuna, several mantras and several ways, mystical worship of Govardhan, how you should perceive Govardhan, how you should perceive Yamuna. A lot of those mystical explanations, when you read it, if you understand a little bit of the Sanskrit meanings, so that's why I told you about the Mushalam, etc., they will be linked to Lord Balaram. And they will link to Guru Tattva. In other words, you cannot understand this whole ecosystem without placing properly Lord Balaram. Just like I've said, Jamuna, she's the wife of Balaram, she's a servant, she has a special position. And you would say, ooh. Or like Varuni Devi, you know what Varuni Devi is? It's a Balaram's drink. So there's the description of how this beautiful light kombucha drink works. That the fruits are rape. And remember, what are the fruits in the spiritual world? They are the fruits of Krishna consciousness. When they rape, they give the nectar.
Ripe.
And that Krishna Lila. So it going into the trees, it's leaking for the trees and goes into the holes in the trees and become fermented there. And that's become intoxicated spiritual substance called Varunya. What really means that the real Krishna Katha is intoxicated. It's like a toxic in a spiritual way. So, and Balaram drink this all the time. So you would think, oh, he might be drinking fermented, wine or beer or whatever. But really what it says, he's drinking the deepest, the rape, their substance, the spiritual substance of Krishna Lila. And that's what Varunya is. And Varunya, she's also female. So, it's quite like very, very deep things about spiritual drinks and what are they. I mean, because nothing in Vrindavan is mundane. So everything has spiritual back, and what they consume and what they do, it appeared to be physical. I mean, from human point of view, oh, they're drinking wine or honey. And it says it's mixing with the honey when it gets fermented. But what is the honey? See, it says by Srila Guru Maharaj, the bees are great sages. And they go flower to flower and they constantly chant Hari-katha and they extract in their Paramahamsa, they're extracting the nectar of Krishna pastimes. When that nectar of Krishna pastimes mixing with the fruits of Krishna consciousness and it becomes revealing itself, remember, pumping. It's become the most intoxicated spiritual substance, which is technically Kirtan and Hari-katha. So that's a good one. So then you say, is there anything in spiritual world that does not exist? Does drugs exist in spiritual world, intoxication exists in the world? And somebody say yes, but it has completely a spiritual meaning. It's not a mundane thing. It's in fact opposite of mundane enjoyment. Haribol.
Jai Srila Bhakti Lalita Devi Maharaj ki Jai.
Varuni expert.
Yes.
I'm just, Guru told me take honey and mix with fruit.
We are so blessed that you mystically appeared in our live stream this morning, and we're so glad you're here and shared some words. And this is the first time you've joined us, surprisingly, on our Thursday morning live stream, which turns into a podcast episode. Okay. So the devotees will see this, and our viewers.
I preach every day. That's what I do. I speak every day. And every day, maybe 5, 6, maybe sometimes over 1,000 people, but every day I try to go. And I do speak in Russian because I'm trying to maintain Ukrainian-Russian devotees who's in a very difficult part, and I'll do it from America. So when it's my morning, it's their evening. But my inner feelings that this Gupta Govardhan has beautiful vibe, beautiful divine vibe. And by your presence, we can discuss things such as Balaram Purnima. That was not my plan. But it was your claim to share it. And there's a lot more, because remember, Balaram expand as Mahasankarshan to Vaikunta, then he expand as double Chaturvyuha towards material world. He's also Vasudeva, the divine principle of consciousness. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva, it's all him. So all the jivas are expanding from Balaram, but also Balaram's source of all variety of Goloka and Vaikunta. He's the expansion of Goloka and Vaikunta. So we say, Beta Beta Tatasta Shakti Kolila Prakash, the jiva itself, by definition, Tatakta Shakti is coming from, Mahavishnu, who's combining, his, energy of Sadashiva, original Sadashiva of material world. And that's, expansion of Balaram. but it's partial expansion, which is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's why in pastimes it's Advaita, who is half Mahavishnu, half Sadashiva. It's a separate entity, but he's an expansion of Nityananda Prabhu. So when we say about the Balaram and how many expansions he has, and each expansion, like the Goloka expansion, then Vaikuntha expansion, then the whole material reality expansion, we can say Bala is everything, is everywhere. Just like when you see Shiva in material world, it's his energy as well. It's quite interesting, quite amazing how it's combined on ontological connection with different tattva. But again, how can we understand that? It's almost impossible to understand. So then we have to link towards pastimes of Nityananda Prabhu, Bhaja Gaurangi, Kaha Gaurangi, Laha Gaurangi Nam. When Nityananda Prabhu...
Can we stop then?
I'm finishing. When Nityananda Prabhu is just explaining, Yuvati, не надо, я закончил уже.
It's okay, we just need a few
So
more
Nityananda
minutes.
Prabhu,
Stop then.
Nityananda Prabhu expanding himself into only one point for us, the conditioned souls. You please worship Gauranga and I become your slave. Means I will support you. So, at this point of view, we can say this is His great, magnificent mercy for fallen souls. He's extremely merciful to fallen souls, like ourselves, and giving us unbreakable promise. I will support you. I will become Mahaprabhu devotee. And that's what we're trying to do, because at the end of the story, we cannot understand all this beautiful philosophy. It's just too sophisticated for us. When we start dealing with categories, we don't have any categorical measurement. So we don't have any essential things to compete.
Okay.
But anyway, Lalita, I think I have to go because I have several appointments, several people waiting for me. I'm sorry, I hook up into the class and I start sharing things.
This is the first time you've joined me.
Okay.
I've been praying for this opportunity, and you fulfilled that this morning.
I don't know how many people
We're
online,
very happy.
but I believe they get great benefit to connect with Bhakti Lalita because she's trying to maintain, and maintenance is the Vishnu's work. Maintenance is the most difficult work. This land is beautifully maintained, is also to maintain our spiritual presence. It's not easy. It's a daily routine, but it's the most important one. And I believe anybody will come online and get fewer moments of association will be greatly benefit of directly by glimpse of Srila Govinda Maharaj. And as far as myself, I think great fortune for me to be connected with Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti Lalita, and all other devotees that service here, as well as the helpers and the new generation team. And it's a great opportunity to share. As little we know very little. There's a Balaram Kanda, it's a story in Garga Samhita also about Lord Balaram. Anybody can download Garga Samhita, can read it. I'll try to read it today to just remind. Also, there'll be a lot of Brihad Bhagavatamritam. You'll find many things. And obviously, Harivamsha, and of course, Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Mangal, by Lochan Das Thakur, Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you link all these connections together, then you'll have deeper perception. So, but it belongs to our gurus, so we are entering a particular level of understanding by their grace, and to be continued. Haribol.
And we will continue this tomorrow. We have our festival, and Zoom will be featured, and we'll all be together here. The devotees can join us on Zoom tomorrow at 11 Thai time. We'll be celebrating Sri Baladev Purnima. Jai Srila Bhakti Vimala Vidut Maharaj Ki Jai. Okay, so Aviram Prabhu, Hari Harai, Nama Krishna. I heard you calling. You can't hear.
Saraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama Yadavaya Madhavaya Shavaya Nama Gopala Govindara Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Sundar Giridhari Jiva Ki Jai. Jai Shri Patram Kamsa Parivraja Kacheri Varya Shutra Shata Shishma Shri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Devi Sankarash Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Bhakti Rakshak Devi Sankarash Ki Jai. Jai Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Shri Gaur Kishore Das Baba Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Sachitana Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Jagannath Das Baba Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Ki Jai. Shri Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai. Shri Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Bhaktivinoda Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shri Bhakti Sri Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shri Bhakti Lalita Devi Ki Jai. Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Sanyasis Ki Jai. Devotees Ki Jai. Shri Kirtan Hari-katha Ki Jai. Guru Maharaj.
Surprise. You never know. Something much.
Yeah.
You never know what's gonna happen.
That's our portion. So,
Spontaneous.
like I feel with him that he's always breaking all expectations. So the mind is always like,
Flexible.
yeah.
You have to be flexible.
It gives some extra access to the heart. The mind is